Good day, everyone. My research title is Traditional Ecological Knowledge and Climate Resilience, Strengthening Indigenous Conservation and Practices in Coastal Communities. Located in Mabuna, Rizal, Zamboanga del Norte, presented by Rubisita Rock at Colegio de San Francisco Javier of Rizal, Zamboanga del Norte. Introduction. Coastal and marine ecosystem are important for nature, food, and local jobs, but they are at risk due to climate change, overfishing, and habitat damage. Indigenous communities have valuable traditional ecological knowledge that helps protect and manage marine resources. So, significance of the study. There are the following groups. First, indigenous communities, policymakers and government agencies, environmental and conservation organization, academia and researchers, fisheries and coastal communities, and last, international environmental bodies. So the next is research problem. Despite the TEKs or traditional ecological knowledge, proven effectiveness in sustainable practices, its absence leads to missed opportunities for improving conservation strategies, particularly in combating climate change and habitat degradation. Research objectives. This research aims to examine gaps in integrating traditional ecological knowledge into marine conservation policies, assess its effectiveness in sustainable resources management, and identify barriers preventing its inclusion. It will evaluate the impact of the exclusion on resource management, especially regarding climate change, overfishing, and habitat degradation. Next is theoretical framework. So this research is grounded in three interconnected theories. So first, traditional ecological knowledge theory, socio-ecological system theory, and political ecological theory. So together these frameworks provide a comprehensive understanding of how indigenous coastal communities interact with their environment, manage resources, and respond to external challenges like climate change and policy changes. So next is research objectives. So first, assess the role of TEK in sustaining marine biodiversity and ecosystem health. Number two, identify the barriers preventing the full recognition of indigenous lead conservation efforts. So number three is examine policy gaps and propose recommendation for incorporation TEK into national and international conservation frameworks. So the last is evaluate case studies of successful indigenous lead conservation initiatives and their applicability to broader marine governance strategies. So methodology, a qualitative data collected through interview. So first, personal information. So name Leopoldo T. Bunkawel, age 67, male. So they live in the community with his family since 1954. So knowledge of coastal environment and resources. So type of fish, danggit, mamsa, and bangus. Traditional and modern fishing practices after the Kanban period, the fish have already finished spawning and the time is time when they can be cooked. So next is discussion and analysis. So theme 1, personal connection to the coastal environment. Pattern. His experience reflects deep familiarity with marine resources and changes over time. So the findings, his understanding of marine life and fishing traditions is based on lived experience rather than formal education. So interpretation, the respondent's lifelong connection to the sea has given him an intimate understanding of marine resources. So theme 2, traditional knowledge of marine resources. Pattern, respondent recognizes the diversity of fish species and ecological role of mangroves, indicating awareness of the coastal environment. So findings, respondent identifies danggit, mamsa, and bangus as commonly caught fish, recognizes mangroves' role in protecting marine life. So interpretation, the respondent's awareness of marine biodiversity and responsible fishing per youth suggests an ingrained understanding of ecological balance. Major findings, coastal resource knowledge and use. of patterns, extensive local knowledge of marine biodiversity, recognition of mangroves' ecological role. The findings. So the mangroves are acknowledged for their importance in shoreline protection and marine habitats. So community practices for sustainability. Patterns. Compliance with the government fishing guidelines. Observation of banned periods for fishing spawning. The findings. Sustainable fishing methods such as the use of regulated nets and adherence to close fishing seasons support marine resource conservation, and illegal fishing and pollution are strictly prohibited. So next is conclusion and recommendation. So integrating traditional ecological knowledge with modern conservation strategies is essential for sustainable coastal resource management. So TEK supports ethical fishing, but strong policies, technology, and inclusive governance are needed. Strengthening enforcement, community-led conservation, and regulations can protect marine ecosystem. Providing alternative livelihoods and education will help reduce overfishing and ensure long-term resource sustainability for future generations. So that's all my research presentation, and thank you everyone.